Kanungu is the kind of place where life moves at its own pace. Tucked away in the rolling hills of southwestern Uganda is a town of simple joys. Farmers tending to their banana plantations, children playing on dusty, red roads, and the air thick with the smell of firewood and rain-soaked earth. But in the late 1990s, something started in Kanungu, something that would leave a scar not just on this quiet town, but on the entire nation. It began with whispers, faint at first, like the murmurs of a distant storm. People spoke of a man who had a gift of visions, a man who claimed he had seen the face of God. Let's call him the teacher. The teacher was magnetic, not in the loud, overbearing way you would expect, but in the quiet, assured manner of someone who truly believed every word they said. His followers adored him, trusting in his wisdom and his ability to guide them towards salvation. The teacher was not alone. At his side was a woman whose presence was just as commanding, if not more so. We'll call her the preacher. Where the teacher was gentle, the preacher was fiery. She spoke with an intensity that sent shivers down your spine, her words dripping with urgency and conviction. Together, they built something extraordinary, or at least that's what their followers believed. They called their movement the restoration of the Ten Commandments of God. The name itself was a promise, a return to purity, to obedience, to life free from sin. Sounds good, right? The teacher and the preacher taught that the world was filled with corruption, and only those who followed the commandments to the letter would be spared when the end came. Life in the compound was strict. Talking too much was a sin. Even laughter was a distraction. Every action was scrutinized here. Every movement devoted to the preparation of the second coming of Christ. Followers sold their possessions. They left their families and poured all their lives into this movement, trusting that their sacrifices would secure a place for them in heaven. But by the year 1999, the tone began to change. The teacher and the preacher started speaking of a specific date, and that date was March 17th, 2000. This they claimed would be the end of the world. The compound buzzed with preparations. People sold all their last belongings, adorned the church with flowers, and cooked feasts for what they believed would be their final journey. On that fateful day, hundreds gathered inside the church, a simple structure made of wood and brick. They sang hymns, their voices rising like a prayer into the heavens. From the outside, it looked like a scene of pure devotion. But then something unexpected happened here. The doors of the church were locked from the outside. Moments later, smoke began to rise. The singing stopped, replaced by muffled screams. Villagers nearby saw the black plume curling into the sky and rushed towards the compound. But by the time they arrived, it was too late. The church was engulfed in flames, and those inside had no way to escape. When authorities arrived, they uncovered a scene so horrific it defied comprehension. Over 500 people, men, women, children, were all dead. But the horrors didn't end there. As investigators dug deeper, they discovered other properties owned by the group, each hiding more bodies. Some had been poisoned, others strangled. In total, nearly 800 lives were lost. And the teacher and the preacher, they were gone. At first it was believed they died with the followers, but rumors began to spread that they had escaped, disappearing into the shadows. It wasn't long before their true identities came to light. The teacher was actually Joseph Chibwetele, a former school teacher with a calm demeanor and a dangerous charisma. The preacher on the other side was Credonia Mwelinde. Their movement, once seen as a beacon of hope, was revealed to be a cult built on lies and manipulations. Kiwetele and Mwelinde had convinced their followers to part with their possessions, their freedoms, and ultimately their lives, all in the name of salvation. Today, the compound in Kanungu stands as a silent witness to the tragedy, a haunting reminder of the power of faith twisted by those who prey on desperation. The people of Uganda still grapple with the legacy of what happened there, a legacy of blind trust and unimaginable betrayal. And so the question remains, did Joseph Kibwetele and Credonia Mwelinde actually believe their own prophecies, or were they simply master manipulators? Whatever the answers are, their actions ensure that Kanungu will never be the same again.